Thank you very much. Okay, let's switch over to the last slides. I wanted to say good morning to everybody. Thank you, Chris, for fitting in the pause. It's a bit awkward. Good morning to everybody who decided to tune in. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a great trading session today. My name is Mikhail Onokhov. I'm a client relationship manager for Admiral Markets. In essence, my job is to create the best possible trading environment for all of our traders. Here are my contact details. If by the end of the webinar you still have some questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. I will be more than happy to help you. I'm really excited to speak with all of you today. All of you decided to participate in this live trading session for one reason, and one reason only. You are interested in trading. You want to understand the process better, and you want to be a success. All of you are very much interested in Forex. You're intrigued by it. You want to become a Forex trader. Some of you are just interested. Some of you have some experience with Forex. Some of you trade regularly and have their fair share of losing trades when you end up looking like this. And of course, winning trades, a lot more happier face. Obviously, all of you want to be this guy rather than the previous guy. The difference is huge. Meanwhile, both of them have a very good suit on, a nice shirt, a fancy watch. Only this second guy looks genuinely happy. He has probably closed a great trade and he's tasting victory. He's tasting success. I bet it tastes very good. And I bet all of you want to taste it every day, every hour, and every minute of your professional trading lives. This is why you're here today, to get better, to get ahead, to be just like this guy. But what do you do to get there? Forex is not a walk in the park. To be successful in Forex, you must be able to swim with the sharks. And swim with the sharks is one hell of a job that requires courage, strength, and of course, plenty of training. So how do you train for a job like that without getting eaten? Well, that's how. This is how you get trained to swim with a shark. You get a nice cage where you feel very safe and comfortable. And in essence, you get yourself in a position where you get the first-hand experience with no risk. And this experience actually has a name. The name is Admiral Markets demo account. Trading Forex requires a lot of practice. As you can see, plenty of screens, plenty of charts. You must be familiar with the market, and you must be familiar with the platform you'll be using. And Admiral Demo offers you MetaTrader, the most popular trading software in the world. It is the most popular for a reason. It is the best, and it offers tons of features for both Forex rookies and professionals. It will be your wings, and it will be your path to victory. So becoming a trader is a lot like becoming a pilot. This is why I actually mentioned wings today. And you can see the insides of a plane. You can see as many different charts as the Forex trader sees. And you must be able to make decisions like a pilot, which are fast, and your decisions must be correct at all times. The pilot is responsible for the passengers. You will be responsible for your money. You're now a pilot of your Forex career. Before a pilot is allowed to fly, he spends hours training on a flight simulator. The pilot, so a trader, must get the same amount of training before he's allowed to take off on his Forex jet. So a pilot gets familiar with all the features of the aircraft. They put themselves through a variety of different scenarios. So when the pilot flies a plane in real life, they can make an instant decision. So a simulator like this, like the one on your screen right now, costs a lot of money. You can get just as good simulator for your Forex career absolutely free of charge. It takes less than a minute to register for an Admiral Markets demo account. You get to test yourself in real market conditions. You're free for as long as you want with absolutely no risk. You have learned new things today, and you will learn new things once the trading session actually starts. So once you do that, you're going to be buzzing with idea. It's very important not to lose this buzz. So I would advise you, once Chris has finished with his live trading session in about an hour and a half, go to admiralmarkets.com and register yourself a nice demo account. The ones who haven't done it, I highly advise you to do that. You'll be able to trade currency pairs. You'll be able to trade contracts and difference on commodities and equities. Our spread, in fact, is so small that if I did not tell you about it just right now, you wouldn't know it was there. It's 1 pip on all major pairs. 1 pip. Admiral Markets demo will get you a chance to see for yourself. So go to the website, register yourself for a demo account, train hard, and become a Forex trader. Once again, my name was Mikhail Onokhov. Thank you very much for listening to me today. I will now pass you on to Chris, who will continue with a live trading session. Thank you very much for giving me the word, Chris. And
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mikhail. Very wise words from you. I found it very interesting, and I'm sure the audience found it interesting as well. And in fact, we are looking at the screen, and if you want to follow up on Mikhail's words, which I definitely recommend, you can do that by clicking on Open Demo Account right there on the right of your screen, which will allow you to do that, or even open the real account if you feel ready for that. So the spreads that Mikhail was talking about are here mentioned on the right side, but of course we'll be taking a look at those in live market actions as well. So with that said, let's take a look at the markets. First of all, we should be aware that today could be a bit of a slow day, or at least slower New York session because of that FOMC. Something that we definitely don't want to underestimate, and that potential of a slow grind in the markets is definitely possible. So, especially anything within 3-4 hours, things could get very choppy and very impulsive once the release has been made. Could be. It's not always the case, but could be. Anyhow, with that said, you probably all know that stuff anyhow. So let's take a look at the currency as well. I had it on the dollar CAD. This trade is working very well. It's a shame I didn't take the euro CAD as well, because that was flying up. That flew up 170 pips. This is up ever since I entered, about close to getting 100 now. So not as much as the euro CAD, unfortunately, but both really great trades. And as I explained yesterday, it's most likely this downside is just the statistical probability of this downside being a retrace was very high because of the breakout, pullback, continuation. It's exactly what it's doing. It's still moving to the upside as we speak. It's an ongoing trade, a train that's going very, very fast. It's moving at 200 kilometers an hour at the moment, as you can see. Actually, after we had a break, pullback, the pullback I took in our trading session yesterday, we had a continue and another pullback like that. So as you can see, these are great scale-ins. Once you have these breaks, you can take it even break. You can take it on the pullback. You can take it on a continuation. You can take it on the pullback, and you can keep on doing that. My take profit at the moment is 104.80, 87 and 89, or 88 and a half. I don't know why I have 1.5 pips difference, but it's just by coincidence. So it's 104.80, let's say 104.86 for the moment. So that's, in fact, the 272 target here, just below the 272 target. 272 target is at 105. So I like to go a few pips under there to accommodate. The market isn't perfect. It's aiming for that target, but it might miss it by a few pips. I don't want to sacrifice. I will gladly sacrifice a few pips for more certainty. So we were talking about this yesterday, right? Just quickly. Anyhow, I'm on the dollar CAD, and it was dipping down, and I was saying this is on a daily chart. You could see it was going back to support. And that's what it did. We'll take a look at the euro CAD as well just in a second, but I don't want to waste too much time. Well, not waste, but spend too much time on something of yesterday. Let's try to see if there's anything now. The euro dollar, well, it broke. Basically, I'll just go quickly through all the currencies to justify or to analyze or to identify which currency pair could be good, first of all, for a swing trade, but also for an intraday trade. Alrighty, euro dollar, day charts pushed through the magical 134.15 resistance. Big thing, alarm bells ringing. Is this deep push and continuation to the upside? It's possible. We just have a wick above that level. We actually closed right at the 134.15. So there is momentum. We are probably breaking. Is it something I find very interesting? Not that much as yet. That's euro dollar was in a very tight spot, as you can see, for a long time. So this could be the break. I'm not saying, but what I would have liked to have had is a daily close, a clear daily close away from that resistance level. It didn't happen. So that doesn't give me that much hope or confidence in this analysis. Let me say it this way, or confidence in the breakout, I should say. Adrian is saying there was a rumor that the ECB will increase the interest rate. That's always interesting. I don't really listen to these things, but it does make me wonder that how a rumor could create that much price action. It makes me wonder if we could create our own rumor in a way. I'm just joking, Adrian, but it sounds fun. It sounds always funny to me. It would be good for us, wouldn't it? Choose a side and but it definitely could have influence. I'm not saying that it can't have influence, but it's just funny for me how those things could influence the market, though. But anyhow, jokes set aside, you can see that, yeah, I can imagine Adrian saying that Soros gained $1 million on or $1 billion on rumors with the Bank of England. So, yep, he definitely made a lot of money. This is a triangle that, technically speaking, this is a triangle. Although the only thing is that I didn't like it yesterday just because it was too close to that resistance. The space was very small. I would need to see, personally, for me to get interested, I would need to see price move above 134.50 and some smaller bull flag like this, and then I'll take the next break. Otherwise, I'm not interested in the long or the short. We're too much in an uptrend for me to be interested in the short. And as Adrian said, historically we had a lot of tops in this area. Adrian has a good question. Is this worth a swing trade to the downside? If you target a low enough area, maybe like this 128, you know, in theory, the reward to risk would compensate the probability of the trade, because the probability is quite small that you catch the turning spot right here for that enormous downside to 128. Could it happen? Yes. Are the chances high? No. So you need to compensate that risk, the low probability of the chance, the low probability of the trade materializing with a sufficient reward to risk. That could make it possible. Is it something that I usually trade as a swing trade? No, because I'm usually looking for pullbacks within the trend as a swing trade, or otherwise a bigger 4-hour breakout or 1-hour breakout. Because that's with the trend. I'm always, my niche, my expertise is especially with the trend and not catching tops or bottoms. This would qualify like a reversal catch, and I don't trade those. That's one of my rules in my trading plan, that I'm not out to seek those trades. I'm not saying I would never do it, but it's not my primary focus. And now that we actually pushed through 134.15, if anything, I would have probably tried to use the 134.15 as the turning spot, but it didn't. You can see how difficult it is to predict that turn. We can put a fib on this downside. Now, if you're geared towards those trades and you've tested those trade setups and you see that you're profitable, by all means, just continue doing that. No problem at all. If you've worked on that and perfected that, and or if or if you want to test it, that's also good. Try a demo, as Michael said, and test these ideas of yours. No problem at all. If this is something you find to be interesting, right? But me not, personally, because of the reasons I already stated. So let's take a look at the pound. The pound did move up a bit, but you can see how important it is to have those trend lines on the chart, because they show the space that a currency might have. The pound didn't have space, and the currency didn't move. And if it would have gone through the trend line, then we would have known that the currency is back into play. The space here was ultimately very, very tight for swing trade yesterday, and we know why. Look at that. No space at all. It just moved up a few pips. Very tight 30 pip range, doing nothing. Still above the uptrend. Same story here for the pound, for the euro. Let's see. We're still above the 886, but we're in a rising wedge as well. Rising wedge is a reversal sign. So if anything, I'm not looking to trade it either way at the moment, because these rising wedges are a very difficult pattern to trade. So it's just very difficult. Adrian is saying that the euro dollar is going down on a 5-minute chart. That could be true, and it is indeed true. But it's just a few pips, right? The thing is that you will have to make that decision for yourself if you like that trade or not. For me, if it moves down a few pips on the 5-minute world, it's not going to change my opinion of a swing trade. But it could be definitely true. Then again, it all depends how you look at it. You can see a currency any way you want it, really. You can see this as a bull flag as well. So it all depends what you're looking for and what you see in the charts. Yeah, definitely if you like the trade, I'm not stopping you. I can see the reasons for it, definitely, but I wouldn't do it. As I said, I'm more geared towards different trading, even for intraday trading. Euro pound, well, broke out of that, maybe broke out. Let me correct it. You can easily put it like this as well. So as long as we stay below those two pink lines, we're definitely still below resistance. And this euro pound could easily move to the downside. If anything, it could be probably an interesting shorting area. Let's see, pretty impulsive up move, but it did go back to resistance here on the 1-hour chart. We have a support level right in there. If we crack that level, then the likelihood of this falling at least to the bottom is pretty high. Yeah, this is definitely something that could make sense to me, because the euro pound is in a downtrend. So that's why it's a bit different than the euro dollar. So that would be a potential. I still would like to see 85.56 crack, then I would consider it. So this is on my watch list, and we can revisit it when we finish this round. Let's take a look at the pound Swissy. Let's see. I was looking for a break of this bull flag. It extended a lot more down than I thought. Still could be interesting if we move up, respect the line, and break. Okay, definitely could be interesting. Dollar Swissy, actually broke that support line, but is now back above it. Kind of funky break, and now it's right at the line. So maybe it'll bounce right here. If it does bounce, it could fall to the next support line right in here. But we're definitely at an area of maybe overextension here on the dollar Swissy, or at least very close to bigger support levels. So it could become a bit how do you say it, not that interesting to short it at the moment, all right? Just because of that. Then again, we could still have some few pips down. This, of course, is heavily tied into the euro dollar. In a way, just to the opposite, dollar Swissy 2 in a downtrend, but maybe reaching support, something like the euro dollar as well. As you can see, we bounced off the 382 fib right to the target. I could see a retrace. Let's move on because this, I don't see anything interesting. We're in a downtrend. Unless we get a rejection wick here on the 1 hour chart maybe for downside. That's the only thing that matches up in my opinion at the moment. Otherwise everything is counter trend. Wowzers. Pity we didn't take both of them, or at least this one is the dollar CAD, because this one really flew up. As I was saying, the 618 most likely bouncing spot because we broke out of a triangle. We're hooking back, and the downside momentum I found at that time less dangerous on the dollar CAD, so that's why I took the dollar CAD. But the euro CAD, as you can see, we were interested in both, right? And if you did take the euro CAD, wow, you just got a rocket. So congratulations on those pips. I hope some of you caught those 170 for a potential 5-to-1 trade or something like that. If you hang down to the ultimate target here, minus 1618, it's actually still price is still above that. If you are in that trade, I would move the stop loss to 139.63 because I wouldn't want to live through anything. I would just lock in the profit right here, catch all of this, and that's a perfect trade. So great job on that. Congratulations. And happy that we saw that trade yesterday together with the euro dollar CAD. At the moment, we are really in a massive upside here. It was a bit slowish, but on the day chart you can see break, pullback, continuation. Classic, and we were trading, in fact, yesterday the C, and within the C we were making a smaller BPC. So this concept you can really see everywhere, right? At the moment, though, currency has broken the top, clearly broken the resistance, but what I would need here is jumping in here, in my opinion, is not worth the risk. I clearly want to see a pullback or at least a chart pattern of some sort. All right, either a triangle or flag. You see, the thing is that the currency is just traveling at a very high speed. It will be the same as if you're a passenger waiting for the train and a train passes by with 200 kilometers an hour. It looks more like a truck, but anyhow, with 200 kilometers an hour, and you are trying to jump on that train with that speed. That usually doesn't work too well. You want a train to go down to a speed of 20 and either jump on then, or if it starts to pick up speed and reach 40 or 50 kilometers, then you can still jump on because then the momentum is in your way. Now, the currency has topped out at 200 kilometers and the speed is decreasing, maybe back to 180 or 160, still too fast to jump on. So maybe that will help you understand why I'm not interested in this EuroCAD at the moment. And I was interested yesterday. dollar yen. Dollar yen is in the middle of a triangle, and it did break a bear flag like that. Now it's looking back. We have two triangle lines, those pink lines. We have an orange line even here as well. We have even this line maybe. That's a potential. So really, just caught in the middle of everything. Nothing to trade. Nothing to trade. Moving on. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is the same as the Euro CAD. If you're in that trade like I am, and maybe you are as well, then I'm just hanging into target. I'm up 80 and 110. You had a scaling possibility here. I saw it. I hesitated because of this. This trend line made me, hesitate to take that scaling again, a second scaling, sorry, because we were going into New York session. First of all, I don't like taking trades after, let's say, London closes, because first of all, I've been looking at the charts for 12 hours, and I like to take pause from looking at the charts. Second of all, New York doesn't tend to move that much, so I thought I would just look at it the next morning, but this time around the currency did move during later New York and Asian session, so that's why I missed this particular scaling here. But I did see it. I just doubted because of the trend line and the time factor. Anyhow, doesn't matter. This is on the move, so if you're in there, 104.80 is my target. Let's see, it should get there, I think, pretty soon. If it does hook back, I'm not too worried. I still expect support to that level, and if it does give me a 4-hour pivot point here, I will easily move all the trades to the next 4-hour fractal. So there's some trade management there. New Zealand dollar. Well, tremendous downside. Very impulsive. Obviously. Got a lot of space back to a potential support level, which is around 77.35, 76.90. Plenty of space there. Yeah, I mean, downside makes sense. Just the question is where and how. If you're behind the charts during the Asian session, for example, this was a great triangle. That's the kind of trades that I was waiting for yesterday. Remember yesterday I was saying that we had a small triangle here that was a good 5-minute sell, but otherwise we're at, the currency has moved already substantial. We need a chart pattern to trade it, or we need a retracement. Remember that? That's exactly what happened. We got that triangle, and if it even didn't happen, doesn't matter, because I would not be interested in it, because at any point in time it can make that triangle. I don't want to short it in here if I have a 70% chance of getting a triangle and a 90% chance of getting a triangle within the next 5 hours. Then I have to live through 10 hours of price action. Doesn't make sense. And indeed, the triangle. Now, a break of that triangle, that is a great trade. That is a great trade. So if you took that, congratulations. You could zoom into the 15-minute world, wait for the break of the triangle, which is break of the support level, stop loss just above here, and that's how you can trade these patterns. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you, just let me know. I'll explain it a bit more in detail if you want. Otherwise, I'll just assume that you get what I mean. That was a good 20 pip, 22 pip stop loss, and that trade would have been up already 60 pips. So you got a 3-to-1, almost a 3-to-1 there, reward to risk. Can't get better than that. Once you're up 2.5 to 1, 3 to 1, take your profit because that's a lot. I mean, in this case, because this is a 1 hour triangle, I wouldn't go for more. Yeah, and now we have divergence. It's the same story as yesterday. I'm just pointing out, yeah, good point, Vitatis. Now I wouldn't trade it either. I'm talking about definitely this trade here. That was a good trade. Now we have divergence indeed on the 15-minute world and the 30-minute world. Not the 1 hour. 1 hour is bad divergence. And it's the same story as yesterday. We're on the move. And we're right at the bottom. We're 15 pips from this bottom. Doesn't make sense to go short right in there. If anything, maybe a long would make sense. But a long is something I'm not trading because the momentum is clearly down, and I wouldn't trade against that, even with divergence on 15 and 30. I would definitely need to see divergence at least on the 4 hour or 1 hour at minimum. But I'm not interested in shorts either. So let's move on. See if there's anything else going on. Pound yen. Pound yen also very tricky. Broke this uptrend channel, but when it broke, it's just been correcting forever. Look at this mess. Wow. Got a top line in here, a top line in here, bottom lines in here, and currency has been just bouncing up and down between those zones. This is the fourth time. If anything, you would say that there's space to fall, but it also depends on the day chart. Let's take a look at that. You can see that we've been stuck in this area for a very long time. Well, considering the fact that we're still above this top, and we had this impulse here that maybe once this consolidation is finished, we could make that upside. Then again, if we break these bottoms, then probably we're making this correction. So your guess is as good as anyone's or as good as anything because no one probably knows here. It's really iffy. But let's take a look at the week chart. Week chart may be indicating that a retracement is almost finished. That would give the balance, tip the balance probably to more upside, but who knows when that would happen. That could be weeks from now. That could be maybe in September, who knows. So nothing to trade right now in any case, let me say it this way. Maybe we're making a new bear flag. In that case, the only thing that's interesting really is a bear flag, a break of that bear flag maybe. An upside, really not interesting upside because we're too close to that resistance. Euro yen. I'm changing my opinion slowly on euro yen, or I'm more cautious. I was bearish. I'm cautious now. Why? Well, because we respected the trend line, but we didn't move down. We went sideways very long and spiked up and spiked down and spiked up and broke out of that downtrend line. So what I expected was up to resistance and then down. That down didn't happen. We went sideways. I have to incorporate that new information, that new price, those new price clues, and conclude that the euro yen is doing something different than I planned for. And with that said, I'm on the sidelines again. And I'm cautious. Just like the pound yen, it's just a lot of chop, a lot of sideways movement. And just recently, if you look at this 4 hour chart, or let's zoom into the 1 hour chart, you can see the range here, the euro yen has been created. So if you're a range trader, then this was a good sell probably. If you're a trend trader, you're not trading this at the moment. If you're a breakout trader, maybe a breakout of this right in here. That's a space. We're always looking for wide open spaces. Well, I wouldn't say it's wide open, but there is space. So Aussie yen. So I'll just start with the day chart here. Let me get rid of this fib. Day chart. Yeah, Aussie fell as well, retraced as well, just like all the Aussie pairs are now falling. That is, of course, interesting. But here too, it's kind of the same as the New Zealand dollar. We have divergence on the 15 and 30-minute world. Pulled up from there. Double bottom. We had a clean, good break here. That's good. It's definitely bearish. Definitely bearish. Look, even the daily support is gone. This could be interesting. Let me investigate the 15-minute world here. Yeah, it's a bit strange pattern. That's why I'm looking at it at all angles, because of this double bottom. It's a bit of funky range here, fall, spike up, a U form or valley with double bottom. It's a very funky pattern. So the question is, if you enter here and your stop loss is here, maybe that would work out, I guess. I don't know. Let's see, 5-minute world. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that, the whole setup, the whole pattern, in fact. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see how it breaks. If it breaks nicely and hooks back, that could be interesting. So let's keep an eye on it. Let's add it to the watch list at the moment. Euro odd is making a bear flag at the moment on the 1-hour chart, as you can see. Not bear flag, bull flag. This could still be a good break. All right. Yes, we do have divergence on the 15-minute world, but that's just a 15-minute world. The 1-hour chart, in fact, is still trending up. It could make it one more push. That is maybe the last push here on the euro odd before we make a bigger retracement. So realize that the 1-hour world is getting to a level where it could be overextended. Doesn't, however, exclude the possibility of the euro odd making one more push up. Okay, but we just want to be more careful with the take profits. So we could put the euro odd on the list as well. Euro New Zealand. Wow, that's just one rocket to the upside. Crazy stuff. Euro New Zealand doesn't really have a bull flag at the moment. It's just a retrace back to these tops. Could be interesting. Let's keep an eye on it. Pound odd. Similar story, probably pound New Zealand as well. Yes, all of these euro and pound versus odd New Zealand, lots of strength there. Odd New Zealand still has resistance at the top of the triangle. I'm waiting for a break of this trend line before I have the confirmation that upside is over, and which I'd like to catch this downside trade. That looks interesting to me. XAU USD very close to the 272 target. I think we talked about it, that We have space for gold to go to the 272 and 686 fib. That's what happened. CAD yen. CAD yen definitely bearish. It's like the odd yen. Good break again. This funky move like this. Not sure why that is so. Pound CAD is on the move. Odd Swissy. Odd Swissy might make sense. That has a nice or bear flag. Anything else? That's about it. Odd CAD. Let me take a look here. Well, a break of this trend line could be good as well. So let's see. Let me wrap it up. We looked at many. I think Euro odd is interesting, right? I remember the Euro pound maybe. I'm not a big fan of the Euro pound, but I would like to find something else. But if there's nothing else, then maybe this one. Pound Swiss I like, but that is approaching the top of the bull flag. That won't happen this hour, or maybe even the next few hours. What else was interesting? Let's see. So let me write this down. Euro pound. Maybe the odd yen. The Euro odd. Maybe this pound odd. I mean, it's really, really, really strong. I traded it way low. I should have. Well, that was my trading plan. My trading plan was to take it off at the minus 618. But if you look at the strength, sometimes you can see the benefit of using a trading stop because, boy, oh boy, this is just massive. I made a 250 pipper on that, but in the meantime, it's 80 pips more above that, and it's just full steam. And yeah, I mean, this looks like it could turn into double as much as I caught on it, because I was looking for this trade here, which is a good trade, but look at that. Let's see. Looks like a good break. So if it hooks back, I think that would be a good attempt to go long. It's something I'm thinking of because it looks like it's the impulse you can see coming into the market. Very looks very powerful, and it's just such a tremendous uptrend, such a tremendous power. If you look at this 1 hour chart, look at the angle of price action. You can see, I mean, this was just a rocket, small pause, rocket, bit bigger pause, rocket, bigger retracement, rocket, very small pause. The angle is so steep that this thing could keep on going for a while and then still give a bigger retracement, a bit bigger ones that we've seen so far, and then still make another upside. So, yeah, that's one advantage of trading stops. So I don't want to jump in right now personally, unless you've had an entry order here maybe. That could make sense, but I think waiting for a retrace and then a bounce here could be an interesting trade. So it's on the list. Let's take a look at New Zealand upon the break of the pink line. Anything else? Oh, the odd dollar. Did I look at the odd dollar? I think we forgot the odd dollar, in fact. That looks good too. In fact, the break of the very small 5-minute bull flag. Typically, I like to have a bit bigger bull flags, but it's a very small one. But still, it looks good, like a good break. So if we get the hook back, that would be good. Okay, always let it center before we enter is a good rhythm and rhyme to remember, because then we know that most of the time jumping in, if it's past the breakout, doesn't make sense in my opinion. Unless you had an entry order here, that would have made sense. What else? The odd Swiss. Oh, yeah. That one's breaking nicely as well. So just need to wait for a retrace, and those things are good to go. Let me take a look at the intraday setup on the euro and pound as well. Euro dollar close to the L3, maybe a bouncing spot close to the pivot point as well. We have an L4 all the way at 133.47. And an L5 at 132.88. So you can see there's a bit more space on this euro dollar. The Camarilla indicator more spread out than last Thursday when we were intraday trading this euro dollar. It's very tight. Breakouts, you see the L4, the H4 all the way at 134, even 134.88. That's exactly what I was saying. Right, I want a break above here and a bull flag above it, and then the next break. That ties in nicely with the Camarilla indicating 134.89 and 135.48 as the targets, and Camarilla indicating shorts really in this area. When we break below these tops, that could provide support. Adrian is doing well with this short. I'm happy for him. Adrian, what are you targeting, by the way, just out of curiosity? So that's the Camarilla there. Pound, let's take a look at. Oh, Vitatis is actually targeting the L3. Okay, well that's more of an intraday trade. You already said it indeed. Yeah, that's an intraday trade, not a swing trade. Well, that's doing very well. L3 is around the corner. In fact, I think it just missed it by a pip, but you can still make that dip. Oh yeah, you have 3 pips left. Yeah. Oh, I find that so annoying. I'm very patient, except when my target gets missed by 1 pip. No, that's things I really don't like. Pound dollar indicating a H4, so that's a breakout above 157, up to 157.30-ish. space is a bit small here on the pound because of the slow movement yesterday. Short's only under 156.25. Clearly, when we break out of that rising wedge. There it is. All right, so we'll have to wait on that. Those are the Camarilla numbers on pound and euro. Let's take a look at. I want to take a look at this fib confluence indicator. Fib confluence a lot lower, all the way down here. And all the way higher. So let's see if we can continue this uptrend after we dip down on this euro dollar. Otherwise, you can see if we look at our momentum indicator or trend indicator, let me get rid of this pound, we can see still an uptrend here. Everything is green and above the moving averages. Here too, you can see we're above this green band. So we need to be aware that this entire zone is support. Our Elliott wave indicator is indicating a 3 here. That could be a potential end of the move of this correction. The bungee here, this indicator is showing that all the various stochastics are in oversold region. So yeah, that looks like Adrian is aiming for a precise spot because it could bounce any point, I would say. Alrighty, that's regarding the euro dollar. I don't see any intraday trade at the moment, except if we would break to the upside or lower. Or a speculative long, that's the only thing. In fact, if anything, for that to happen, let's see, we did move down quite a lot. 5 minutes on this 5-minute world. What I would want to see here is some triangle like that and then a break. So that's an option. Let's see how that goes. That we're trying to catch the first turn of the euro dollar back to the upside. Okay, so instead of just speculating on turn here, we would get a 5-minute breakout as a confirmation. Darshan is asking if I think that the odds will go under 900 or 90 and New Zealand under 79. Aussie, I know by heart that I think it will go to 85, 87, in my opinion, if not to lower 80s in the very long run. Who knows? That's a bit difficult to say. And New Zealand dollar, I'm less sure. I would have to check those numbers. New Zealand is almost under 79. Well, that's very likely. New Zealand is a bit tricky, but you can see, of course, the downside momentum on the day chart. So if we put fibs on there, we'll find out what the targets could be. 50 fib. And in fact, if the currency would go to the minus 272, we're talking about 74, 75 here. And the 618 target at 71. It's definitely possible. So there could be a huge downside on these currencies. Let's take a look at the Aussie. You can see that there's no support until 80 on the weekly chart. So this, I mean, we can put a fib on the upside just to see if there's any fib that could give support. This Aussie might turn at 87 or at 84. Those are the 786 and 886 fibs potentially. So those are levels that it could bounce, but otherwise it seems pretty clear sailing to the downside here. A lot of momentum pushing it. I wouldn't see why it's going to stop now after we've respected this downtrend. So definitely. So that's in my opinion not a question. It depends just how you want to catch it, what part of you want to catch it. If you were trading, I don't know who was bullish or bearish. I don't know who I was just would be interesting for me to find out, but maybe some people got bullish. I was a bit cautious when we broke this trend line, but quickly we resumed back into that. So that was a good break of the 4-hour and 1 hour here. All right. I myself took this 1 hour trade here, if I remember correctly. So that's a good fall so far. These are good swing trades in fact. Yeah, exactly, Darshan. That's what I was saying. Right now it's 179 indeed. So that shouldn't be a problem. Exactly. If it follows the Aussie, of course the Aussie New Zealand is going down a lot too, then it could really go far as well. So I'm really interested if we get a hook back here, I want to retrace at least a bit, and I would be interested. If you didn't catch a swing trade, then I think the only thing that I see at the moment is an intraday trade to the downside. Because otherwise, taking a swing trade here, it's a pretty big stop loss. Anything within this area is still iffy to put a stop loss. Okay, you could put a stop loss here, but there's a chance that if we move down and then start to retrace like this, your stop loss gets eaten and then it moves down. So the only swing trade stop loss that's safe is right here, and that's a pretty big stop loss. Now, I'm not saying that the reward wouldn't justify it, because I do think you could target 85, so there's definitely reward to risk there. But it's a massive stop loss, so. These spots were a lot better where I have the circles for swing trade. So I'd rather wait for swing trades, or I'd rather wait for this momentum to last, and then I hook back, retrace. That's a better moment as a swing trader. At the moment, only thing I see left is just some smaller downside here, and who knows how long it continues. That's why it's still good to catch those pips, those last few pips there on the intraday, or maybe not the last few, but at least a few. And if it does start to retrace, then the swing traders can get interested again. All right, but I want to hook back. I want to jump right in here and see if it's back against me. I want to plan for that retracement. Euro odd is at the top of this trend channel. That could be interesting. I'll give this one a go. Let me try this one. It's at the top, so if it breaks this, you can see the stop loss very tight here. Definitely worth looking at Admiral Markets. The Euro odd hovering around 1.2. That's extremely tight spread for the Euro odd. Believe me. Don't second doubt that. I don't trade the 1-minute chart, but so this is more of a fun thing for me than, because normally I at least want a 5-minute break, which we don't have yet. Let's see how that goes. So 9 pip stop loss. Maybe I'll make it 11. We'll go for a 2-to-1. Huh. Oh, it's a buy limit already. Yeah, that's funny. Ah, there it is. So I mean, let's see how that goes. It's a risky trade because it's a very small consolidation period space. But it looks like the momentum is strong, so it looks like it's about to break. Let's see how that goes. It's pushing at the moment. Well, fingers crossed, as always, with this scalp trade. So with that said, any questions? We can take a look at the others. We had others on our list as well. What was it? Adyen is breaking nicely. Gave us a hook back, but it's moving away from here. I missed that. We were looking at the Euro odd. Bounce off the 50 fib here. Dollar CAD is still pushing. Let me take a look. Up 85 on the entry of yesterday. Odd dollar. Odd dollar is not giving a hook back. It's just breaking. So yeah, it's just on the move, just like the euro odd as well. Probably the pound odd too. Pound odd two. That too would have been a good break. But that was remember we were looking at this break, and I didn't have any entry order there because I was still looking at it. It was too late for that one. I was looking for a hook back, but it's just not doing that. It just keeps on going. Moved up already 60 pips here. Wow. Crazy stuff. Didn't give us the retrace. Could still give the retrace, right? A bit later, if it moves up a few pips, gives us the next bull flag. Let's see, odd Swissy. Five-minute world. We had that break and hook back here too. We had a bit of a hook back, not too much though. The other one had a better hook back. This was not even a hook back to mention. It's just to the 236 fib. That's nothing. That's really nothing. I would never ever trade that. So that was really nothing, and it's already moving forward, or downwards, I should say. Adrian is saying that he's longing the USD and shorting the risky ones. Okay. Which ones are the risky ones, Adrian? The market is definitely preparing for iPhone OFC. I mean, it's definitely on everyone's mind. Don't doubt about that. And because the euro dollar was in a massive uptrend, or not a massive uptrend, sorry. The pound dollar was in a pretty good uptrend. The euro dollar was just stuck in a range. I'm mixing up the currencies. We could see some exiting of those positions. That could cause, maybe some downside pressure on those. But that's just speculation. I would never really trade based on that. But euro odd is a 2-to-1 I'm aiming for. So I have 148.82. It's basically a scalp trade because the whole thing is that the swing trades are not there today because the currency has moved already. For example, Monday was a great swing trade. Yesterday was on the AUDs and the New Zealand's crosses. Yesterday was a great swing trade on the CADs as we took. Today, there are really no swing trades because everything has moved so much. So what remains are intraday trades. I hesitated too long with the pound odd to take it right there. I wanted to see how it broke and what was waiting for the hook back. It didn't hook back. So the only thing that remains is a scalp where you catch the last, or not the last, but try to catch with a very small stop loss some pips. Because otherwise there's really no way to catch it. It would have been the only way here, I think. Well, we could have taken a 5-minute entry here at the stop loss here. That's true. That would have been that's a different way of taking it, but that's already a pretty big stop loss. I mean, it's 40 pips. Okay, it's not that bad. 40 pips. That would have been possible as well, but I found this 1 minute consolidation interesting. I don't trade, as I said, I hardly trade those, but let's see if that works. It is moving our way, so that's good. I'm happy about that. It's funny to look at this 1 minute chart. You see so much movement within a minute. Yeah, there she goes. Come on. Just a few more pips. It's always exciting if you look at a 1 minute chart, especially if it's so close. As I said, I hate it if my take profit is missed by 1 to 2 pips, so I hope it doesn't happen here. You know, we already have a 1 minute fractal. I guess in a way we could easily move our risk to under here. I mean, because for me the trade just happens, so I'm not usually looking at moving it to break even. But if you think about it, usually if I'm up that much, so close to the take profit, I do move it to break even. If we would use the same philosophy on this 1 minute chart, then we could do that, I guess. As I said, I'm not a scalper at heart, so Patrick, yeah, that's just I have some software for that, some external software. Which I purchased. So that does make it easy, but if you need help with calculating, Admiral Markets does have let me see, with analytics, no. There's a calculator here. Forex quotes, central bank rates. Trade calculator, under trade, obviously. Yikes, it's really moving down fast. I don't know, I'd rather move my thing to break even. Oh, it's already in loss. I'll click it out. I'm clicking it out, by the way, because that's moving way too fast. As I said, I'm not an experienced scalper, so I would have moved it to break even. It just went too fast for me to move it to break even. It's a pity. We were up pretty good there. This could be just a simple retrace. It probably is. If you look at this 5 minute world, I clicked it out because I already had mentally moved it to breaking even. I didn't do that yet, but I was just about to. So, it seems very volatile at the moment, though. But we are looking at the 1 minute chart, so it's kind of, it probably shouldn't read too much into it. But how much were we shy? Yeah, 2 to 1 was maybe a bit, maybe just aiming for a bit too much. Maybe we should have gone for 1.5 to 1, because 2 to 1 is a lot for any any time frame. It would be especially because I went a bit above this zone and a bit below this. If I would have gone for a bit tighter zone, maybe like this, we could have had that 2 to 1. Let me see if the pound odd is making a retrace as well, because that's what actually we're waiting for in the pound odd. Pound odd here. Let me save this breakout so far. It would be nice if it could hook back to the 618. That would be perfect, because then we're hooking back to the broken tops. That would be a nice retracement. But not sure if we can get there. We know that the euro is moving up as well. We actually tried to take a few pips, or we were up 15 pips. Maybe we should have just grabbed those pips. But anyhow, so let's see. That could be a bouncing spot. But realize one thing though, is that it is on the move, and it has moved a lot. But at one point, it is going to make a bigger retracement. That point could be somewhere now. It's not going to break forever. So that's something you just want to realize as well. Euro yen moving down. Yeah, the euro, also the euro odd, right? It made a sharp fall. The way it moved down was pretty, although it was a 1 minute chart, was looked aggressive to me. But I could be dead wrong. But usually if I'm up close to 2 to 1, then I don't want to risk my capital anymore. That's just a rule for me, so makes trading decisions very easy. But why the euro? I don't know. The euro yen could be topping out at that resistance line, and we were saying it has some space maybe back to the bottom. For example, that could be a reason. Maybe the euro dollar is moving down. The euro dollar is bouncing. Yeah, I hope Adrian got his take profit. Not sure. Looks like it. No, maybe not. Sorry. Let's see how the dollar cat is doing. Dollar cat still moved up last hour. Now has an inside candle at the moment. Now this is a rocket. It will not keep on moving like a rocket. Most likely, we will see some retrace. We will probably see at least some bull flag that we had here, somewhere here. I mean, that's bound to happen at one point or another. And then probably the next break will hopefully bring us to the 104.80. Okay, good, Adrian. I think that's good at least, because it looks like the euro dollar is back at a bouncing spot indeed. Yeah, so the only intraday trade really would be a bounce at the 618 for this pound odd. What is the euro odd doing? It's just hanging around that entry level we had. Probably should have clicked it out with this negative candle here. Would have gotten 12 pips on that. Still, in any case, on the 5-minute world, if we zoom out, we can see that this most likely is just, yeah, this probably could be a retracement. The difference is that we're right at the top. The pound odd is a bit better because it already broke that top in a way. What is the euro New Zealand, pound New Zealand? They're all in the same spot, all these four. Euro pound, I still promised to you to take a look at that. Well, it broke the support line with a clear 1 hour close below it. So that looks bearish to me. Here too, if we do get a retracement, it looks like we have a good reward to risk, because you can clearly see that if this does move up, then we probably could put our risk here, right? This would be our risk. This would be our potential reward. That doesn't look that bad. That looks like a 2.5 to 1, I guess. That would make sense. Right now, you can obviously see that, no, it's the other way around. Sorry, that this reward box, once again, this reward box is what even as the risk. So that's not too tempting as yet. All right, so, but if it does hook back, I think it makes sense to go short on the euro pound. I'll be looking for that. I'm not a fan of the euro pound, but it does make sense to me. Wow, 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 wow. Look at that. That's crazy. Very volatile indeed. The yen is pushing it up. Wow. That's a close in reverse on the 5-minute chart there. Thanks for the heads up, Darshan. Look at that 1-minute bar. That's just funny. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it has to do with the FOMC indeed. Maybe you got big positions maybe being closed and especially closed probably before that news announcement just to reduce the risk. So maybe the big boys are exiting. So we got to be very cautious, folks. It's even with strong trends like pound odd and euro odd, you never know because this thing could slide into something unexpected like this or huge consolidation. Wow, what's happening with the euro? Or is it the yen that's pushing this? Euro is moving down a bit. Where's my yen? Ah, there. The yen is moving up. Wow. Well, I guess the currency doesn't want to break this bottom of this trend line here. I'll mark that one in orange. I mean, yeah, I'll mark it in orange. Why not? Wacky. Look at this Aussie yen. Because of the yen, of course, also going up. Our euro odd is bouncing up. So if you took an intraday trade here, that up a few pips. We were looking for the scalp, right? Pound odd. Moving up. Well, that's about it, I guess, folks. There's really nothing else to do. If anything, I would still look for pound odd. It doesn't look like it's going to do so. Maybe euro odd would have been the better one to take the bounce, in fact, or just leave the entry order here. But the thing is, we had a very tight stop loss, so that's the thing. But anyhow, it was also close to the top. A pity. Next time we'll try to catch that one. The pound odd, I'm still interested if it will hook back. Let's see if that happens. Same probably for the Aussie dollar. Let me take a look. Not sure if that will happen though. But yeah, odd dollar too. If it were hooked back to resistance, and you're around 92.24, 90.24 probably or something like that. But otherwise, odd New Zealand break, I'm still looking for downside. The pound Swiss, I'm looking for upside break. Let's take a look at that odd New Zealand actually. That's not happening as yet. So those are the swing trades more or less I'm waiting for, but they're not materializing in our trading room. So that's at the moment. Odd New Zealand, pound Swissy, and the euro pound I'm waiting for a hook back. That's my watch list at the moment. And pound odd, I'm waiting for an intraday trade. That's not a swing trade if it hooks back. Odd Swiss could be the same, but that's more or less the same as probably odd New Zealand and pound odd anyhow. And the odd USD, that would be the same category as the pound odd. Small hook back for small downside. Yeah, that's about it. But I would really only look for it maybe still 1 or 2 hours, one and a half hours, and then I will not be trading. That's my strategy. Just because of the FOMC, I'll definitely be in the waiting mode. I'll just keep these CADs, of course, but I won't trade or open anything. I'll keep those dollar CADs, so I'll keep those 2 targets. I won't change that personally. Although we do have a good profit. Maybe it could be even wise just to take the profit there. I don't know, 30, 37. I mean, it's a 3-to-1 trade. When is FOMC? Is it 2 p.m. Darshan? I thought it was 2 p.m. Eastern. But maybe I'm mixing it up. Is it really 4 p.m. Eastern? It's 8 p.m. Central European Time. Oh, okay. Yeah, still, well, I would be very careful with New York. Maybe only an intraday trade that I expect really to close within an hour or two. But not any trade that I expect that would take longer, I wouldn't touch because it could really get stuck into chop. So I first was planning, I thought it was a bit earlier indeed. First I was planning not to take anything after London Open, but if there's a good breakout within New York Open, the first 2 hours of New York Open, that could make sense. This dollar CAD, let's see. You know what? Why don't we close it now? I mean, it's a 3-to-1 trade anyhow. Otherwise, we'll have FOMC between our session today and tomorrow, and it'll be difficult for me to communicate with you what I would do in a situation. It's up to you. You can keep the 4-hour trade easily if you want to the target. No problem with that. Or you can join me and take the 3-to-1. That's up to you. Okay? So, but for me, I think it's just more clear that in my communication here, because between tomorrow and today, there's a big difference. So, so I'll just do that. That's just simpler. It's a good trade anyhow, 3-to-1. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's simpler for my communicating with you. But there's nothing wrong with keeping that swing trade. I would say the higher trade, I would say 3-to-1 is good enough because we went all the way to the minus 1,000. That's a good profit. The 4-hour trade from, I think it was from here, that's something that you can easily put to break even and try to see to hang on to the higher. That would make sense. Or take it out here. That's your choice. Dollar index, we can take a look at that. Richard, the Admiral Markets has dollar index, so you could use Admiral Markets, of course, for that. And the dollar index it's just going nowhere. It's just really right at that support line, this green support line. Hasn't broken it yet. Maybe making double bottom. Very difficult. It's maybe in this downtrend channel as well. Tough spot. So we have to see how FOMC influences that dollar index. Okay. Well, that's going to be wrapping up for today. Let's see. Well, wish you first of all great trading the rest of the day. Be careful, as I said, after the first 2 hours of FOMC, and then we'll see what kind of effect it had tomorrow. We'll reanalyze everything. take the new information into account and see if we have some intraday trades, because I think that yeah, tomorrow we're going to focus on intraday trading especially, right? So Richard, I'm not sure what you mean with that, but to get the dollar charts, you can just go to that's what I said. Admiral Market Brokers. Admiral Market, the one you're now looking at, right? Admiral Markets. They have the dollar index chart. Okay. Just open a demo account. You can open there, download MT4 or MT5, and you can use that. Already? Okay. Okay, folks. Great. So once again, wish you a great day and see you all tomorrow. Okay. Cheers.